Could we be on the verge of a new fight between Governor Greg Abbott here in Texas and the United States Justice Department? The issue at hand here, the way the state has handled migrants and their attempts to cross the border at a 2.5-mile stretch at Eagle Pass in Shelby Park on the Rio Grande. My next guests react to the latest developments about the DOJ's big request and a deadline that is quickly approaching. Joining us now on The Factor Uncensored, we have Cesar Espinosa from VL Houston and also conservative talk show host Angela Box. And Angela, congratulations on your new show. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Cesar, when we talk about the federal government giving the state of Texas until tonight, the end of the day, to allow the feds, that being Border Patrol, access to 2.5 miles of the border, are we seeing the state of Texas bullying the federal government, or should we even be in this situation? It's the federal government.
Well, I don't think we should even be in this situation. The federal government has their job. The state of Texas has their job. And albeit there's a lot there's a lot of contention around this immigration issue of who's doing their job and who's not. But one of the things that we are very clear about is that the state of Texas should not try to do the federal government's job because they've done a very poor job at it. So what we see now is the Abbott administration, including Ken Paxton, have the goal to defy the federal government, something that that just really is unprecedented when it comes to really doing what they want. So we're going to see really a stalemate of what's going to happen if the government is going to go in and fine or will do whatever they need to do to make sure that Texas is compliant with not only federal, but potentially international law as well.
And Cesar, let's make this as clear as possible to the viewer who may be just joining us and don't quite get the full picture. There's about 2.5 miles of the border right there. I think it's near Shelby Park, near the Rio Grande and Eagle Pass. And they're saying the state of Texas will not allow the federal government, Border Patrol, to have access to that part of the border here in Texas. And it's where Friday, where a woman and her child drowned, right? Or last week, where a woman and her child drowned.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And they're not letting the federal government do their federal diligence in order to protect that part of the border, and they've taken over. And so now it's a stalemate on who is going to control that part of the border or who's not. And we see the fear from us is that, or the fear from people advocating on our side is that Texas is just going to continue. If they get away with this, they're going to continue on to the next, just as they have with this whole immigration issue.
All right, let's bring in Angela Box, talk show host, conservative. Angela, the Constitution is clear. Is Texas going too far or doing where the federal government, according to many, may be dropping the ball?
Well, Cesar made a statement that what Texas is doing is outrageous, I believe is the word he used. What is actually outrageous is that the Biden administration has willfully, purposefully flung open the border and is in defiance right now with the threats of, Joe Biden was caught on a hot mic last week talking about sending F-15s to Texas. And what's outrageous is this government is purposefully, openly committing treason against the United States of America. They are allowing the invasion of our country, period, dot, the end. They're doing it for a couple of reasons. Number one, they want voters. Democrats are finally starting to admit the obvious. Number two, Joe Biden and his handlers, whoever they are basically telling him to do this. What is also equally outrageous is that Joe Biden's administration is suing the state of Texas to basically stop Texas from protecting its own borders, which the federal government has refused to do. So this is the 18th day that the Biden administration has to decide if they're going to come in and violate the 10th Amendment and the Posse Comitatus Act. Now, people don't seem to understand that all the quote-unquote good troops right now are basically in Europe and other areas. The ones here don't really even have bullets. So, we've got a lot of people in the Texas militia, and the Texas militia, people don't understand, is like, for lack of a better term, a state military arm that's under the governor of Texas. And if Joe Biden is going to send his goons in here, his woke military in, to try and threaten Texans who are simply trying to protect their border from the lawless and purposeful destruction of this country. They've got it. They're in for a rude awakening. And I, you know, people talk about a civil war. I think we're a powder keg for sure. This kind of has kind of Waco all over it to me. And I think we're in a lot different time than Waco. I think people are absolutely fed up. You see what's going on in blue states, blue cities. The people who live there, who wanted the open borders and the sanctuary cities and states, they don't want it so much anymore. But yet the blue states, the blue cities, the governors, the mayors, they refuse to say 3 words: close the border, because they've been told not to.
All right, we're out of time, guys. We want to thank you both for joining us here on the Factor Uncensored.